Hello, all. Welcome back to Actual Play Crossing Worlds. We are about to go on a stealthy mission of stealing packages and sneaking them back. Oh, hey, Riverhouse Games. Thank you for rating us. I didn't see that till just now. I don't know if that was a while ago because chat doesn't have a timestamp. But anyway,
Yay!
thank you just the same. And hi, Ken. Clearly, I have not been paying enough attention. But nice to see everyone. So yeah, we're gonna roll an engagement roll.
Yeah, all right. So I think where we left off is the plan is to look like tourists and plan your little tourist visit for when they're doing shift change so security isn't paying attention as much. So for the engagement roll, how it works is you start with one die, and then I'm going to read through some questions, and we'll either add dice or take away, and that'll determine what we do to roll to basically see how the mission is going when we open on it. So, is the operation particularly bold or daring?
What a good question.
Yeah, I mean,
Is it?
given my general sense of of the um of the security, it seems like it. Like we're trying to sneak past the barrier that they don't let people through, and we're stealing from a faction that's bigger than us. So, locker points to yes.
Yeah, while pretending to be wealthy tourists, which is
Let,
a little.
let me rephrase this way. Locker's like it was impossible to get through that security. There was just no way. Like it is all these things that Locker totally did. Locker's like, no, that can't be done. That's an impossible thing. Oh, you did it? Oh, okay. Well, I guess it's possible, but it's not very easy. Gotta admit, it wasn't very easy.
Yeah.
And like, there's nobody like doing like visual surveillance doesn't work either. Oh, do you know you did that too? Okay. Well,
Um, all right, and then is it overly complex or contingent on many factors?
I don't. Let's see. I don't know how we would make it simpler. We're gonna steal a thing and sneak it back.
Mm-hmm.
We know where it's gonna be. We know how we're getting there.
Yeah, I mean there are multiple factors, which is getting the thing without being caught and getting it back.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I don't know how we would do this mission in a less convoluted way because we're gonna essentially just try and do that directly.
I think the one thing that might make it with more contingencies is you have the. Well, actually, let me ask. Are you dressing up as tourists, or are you actually trying to be part of a tourist group?
Hmm. Good question. What do you think, Janelle?
I I had envisioned myself actually dressing up as a tourist, whether that meant as part of like an ogling tourist group or just an individual tourist. I wasn't sure, but that was why I went with the three equipment check so that I looked like again as unassuming and kind of within context as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not thinking that we would join another group then? You're not thinking like we would like
I
we
don't
would just
think so. I
yeah.
I felt like the four of us would be an adjacent group.
Mm-hmm.
So we look like maybe not a nuclear family unit, but like that kind of equivalent to one of those like bus fulls of tourists, that like the double decker buses in like San Francisco, you know what I'm talking about? Like that equivalent, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So I don't think that brings in many factors then, because it's just you guys kind of as your own group.
Right.
Um, does it does your plan expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
Um, I, I think, um, I think that the Benali gave us information about where they have a weak spot. Um, so I don't know if it hits them where they're. I, I'm gonna say I don't think so, but the one reason why I could imagine it would is just um, uh, because we know when it's going to be left unattended. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah. I think it does, and I think you guys spend a lot of time finding like where their weak link is.
Cool.
All right, you're doing well so far. Is it the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I think it's kind of counter to you guys targeting where they're strong or weak. Um, Did you use a bond or gain help from a contact during legwork? So we didn't pull that in this first time because we're kind of going through the basic rules. In the future, you can use contacts to make your plans more effective. Did a contact use their grudge to provide bad information during legwork? For simplicity's sake, I'm going to say no. In the future, as a GM, I can look at any of your contacts that you have a negative relationship with, and I can actually make a roll to see if they hurt your engagement. And any other elements you want to consider?
I mean, what kind of people are on the train with us, I guess? Like, how crowded is it? What time of day is it? Yeah, just what's general traffic and presence like?
Yeah, so I'll leave that up to you guys. For if we think about the 8 shifts, they're probably turning over at, I'm gonna go with like the military default and say 7 a.m., 3 p.m., and 10 p.m. So you can pick if you want to go during the day where there's more people but also more visibility, or did you want to go at night where there's fewer people but also it's dark out?
What is the time frame under which what's the time frame under which the package is going to be dropped off? Because that's like we kind of have to work within that time frame as well.
Yeah, I think your information says that the sort of drop window is going to be, let's say, 2 to 5 p.m.
Okay.
All right, so I think we got to go with that afternoon slot.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and that's fine. That makes sense. As tourists, like that's we're gonna go for a day trip, right?
Yeah.
I'm about it.
All right, so the question is, that gives you guys 3 dice, so you're in a pretty good position. Or
Nice.
we'll see how the dice go, but you should be in a pretty good position. Who would like the honors of rolling the engagement?
Oh boy, who's had the best dice luck so far?
I think Craig's went on fire.
Yeah, Craig.
Oh man,
Craig, go for it.
my shoulders.
Yeah, Craig.
I do payroll 20 every month, so. All right, so 3d6.
Correct.
Okay. Ooh, what's the 6?
6.
Woo!
Go. So
Craig is killing it.
when we open on the first scene, you're going to be in a controlled position. So I think we see a little bit of a montage of, and I'll have you guys describe yourself in just a minute, of you as tourists, and you maybe, I don't know, are taking pictures and drift away. And there's actually probably what I think it is there is a real tourist group at that time. And I think you see them pay some money to the guard to be let on the other side of the barrier. Like that's what the tourists are there for. So you're probably able to just sort of fold into that group. And I think there's this moment where you're on the other side of the barrier and you can see that the ground here is those canyons that are just jutting up into the sky, and they're brilliant red, even more than the usual red dust you see. These are like almost painfully red, and they're almost like skeletal fingers, like reaching up towards the bright, bright blue sky. And you can see that the guards are still talking to the head of the tourist group, and the tourists are wandering around taking pictures. And you're there on the side, and if you can just get over that one hill and down the canyon, you will be on your way. So my question is, what do each of you look like as a tourist?
Does anyone else have a clear idea?
I definitely do for Locker. Locker looks like he is here to take 1,000 photos. He's like he's decked out in like almost like safari wear. I'm thinking like khaki and like a zillion like things that look like they have like camera lenses and things like that, and like a camera bag, but it's not. It's where all the stuff's in, and He's got like binoculars hanging down from his, binoculars hanging down on a collar, and some really doofy shoes and some shorts.
Are they
And
cargo shorts?
yeah, they're totally cargo shorts. Exactly. And the notable thing about the cargo shorts for Locker is that they allow him to get to the hidden compartments in his cyber legs easily. So like the real like super illicit stuff that's hidden in there, he can like sort of pull the shorts up quick and pop into that. But yeah, so and he's got some like juicy fruit, the equivalent of like juicy fruit gum that he's just like, hey, everybody want juicy fruit? Want you like anybody we speak to, like that's it, go to like, hey, how's it going? Want a stick of gum? And it's legit gum, not like poison or anything like that. So
This is the most Midwestern character I've ever heard of in a sci-fi anything.
well, we're going as tourists, right?
Yeah, totally.
So,
yeah.
yeah.
I have a question for you. Does Locker have a selfie stick?
Does Locker have a selfie stick? You mean in general or for this particular?
For this character?
For this character, yes. In general, also yes.
Yeah. Good. I'm so glad.
Thank you. Yeah. There's definitely lots of scenes of Locker running up and like smiling beside people, like hi, including like peacekeepers and whatnot. As we go through.
Perfect.
Awesome.
Sorry, did I just speak over someone? My mic has about a 2-second delay, so.
You're good.
Okay. I think that Juno is actually probably wearing what reads as very like capital fashion, like kind of just a season or two behind fashion. So she looks a little bit like a student, maybe. I'm thinking like stretchy but tailored like pants with a high waist, and a structured sort of metallic looking jacket. I think that her makeup is more subtle now so that it doesn't like really stick out, but nonetheless remains asymmetrical. So again, like if someone tried to like look her up on a facial recognition like footage, it would be really hard to find her. But otherwise she just looks like kind of a bougie student who's here to check out the barrier, someone very easy to dismiss after a quick visual read.
Cool. I think Zephyr has like just khaki clothing as well. I think that fits the outside. It's kind of like safari-ish. He's got like a fisherman's hat on and like a big backpack with like maybe like some things strapped to it. Just like random dongles and stuff strapped to the back of it. But besides that, pretty normal.
October is not going as a tourist specific, but as someone's social media intern, and basically probably closer to Locker because all the cameras just going around with like a little pad to like, essentially loading the card so you can keep taking pictures and then loading it to your Instagram. Largely an excuse to just sit there with a computer interface. So dressed very plainly, very non-bougie, just kind of like some brown coat with like a hood for weather, and trying to kind of keep their hair in their face and not go noticed. It's just like, oh, it's the person uploading to rich people shit to Instagram.
Yeah. Cool.
All right. And so I think you see that most of the crowd around you is very much in the capital fashion. So you can see that there's lots of like very voluminous, but sort of made of leather skirts. You're not quite sure how they have that volume. There's probably some like complicated material. Lots of like almost military cut, tight fitted tops, and completely impractical, like very heavy and hot. And you can already see that they're kicking up dust. And, there's one tourist who you can see, he keeps looking down at his skirt and kind of like kicking it to try and get the dust off and becoming like fixated on trying to rub it off and just spreading red dust everywhere. And I think, so I'm going to bring you guys over to this page. So kind of in the top right corner, you have starting to make my beautiful high-tech drawings. So that opening is sort of where you guys came through, and if you think there's guards still there chatting, and the tourists are just sort of out there near the barrier, staying probably within like 10 to maybe 20 meters. You can catch a couple of them keep glancing back at the tourist leader to make sure they're not in danger. And you know that if you think of, let me make a sort of down a little bit is where the canyon kind of dips down, and you know that you need to get further out from the barrier by probably I would say maybe 400 meters, and you're guessing that getting out of this same level as them, some other level in the canyon, might be the best bet for being out of sight. Or of course you can always try just wandering off and see what happens.
Does it look like it dips down? Because you don't need to go like if it dips a little bit, you don't need to go too far down before you get out of view, especially if you're crouched down. Does it look like it's sort of tapering off towards the canyon?
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's sort of almost as if a river used to be there. Like there's kind of this part where the ground starts going down and then drops more sharply.
Cool.
Okay.
So one of us is going to distract the guards, make them look that way, and then the others are going to sneak down that way. Does that sound?
Yeah,
That
that
sound
sounds
right?
about right. Yeah, very sophisticated high-tech plan.
Yeah, Locker's getting really rocking this role. Like when they say this, they're like pointing with their camera, like go that way and go that way. They're maybe enjoying it a little too much. Maybe they need to dress up more just for on the funds.
Really quickly before we embark on our like Mission Impossible level of planning here, Cass, I just want to make sure I'm interpreting this drawing correctly. So the X's are where the guards are, is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
X's are deadly peacekeepers.
And
Cool.
we came from the left side, right? We came from here, and then this is the outside of the barrier out here, right?
Pretend this is a school bus to show that this is where the tourists came from.
Got it. That's I like that school bus.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
It's like it just like pulled up like.
Yeah, perfect. I didn't know there was like an MS Paint function in Roll20.
Yeah.
I just feel like I discover something new every time. Great. Man, I'm really reminded of, have you guys seen that meme that's like about how every tabletop role-playing campaign, the background music can either be Mission Impossible music or Benny Hill music, and the players get to decide what it's gonna be. I just kind of feel like we're edging toward one camp right now.
Well, Walker
we'll
tried
see.
to do Mission Impossible, and he just, screwed it all up with the.
Yeah, right. So you just got to default to Benny Hill then, right? If one fails,
I
try
mean,
again.
listen, whatever gets the job done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you guys have this moment where the two peacekeepers in their like gray jumpsuits seem to be focused on talking to the tourist leader. You get the feeling that they talk a lot. They're pretty familiar. And the group is sort of still huddled together a little bit, but it looks like you have a moment to act.
Oh, cool. So if somebody's already distracting them, then yeah, Locker's like, let's go. I said we all just sneak down the hill.
Yeah. Are these peacekeepers like young? Are they old? Have they been doing this for a while? Are they like bored? What's their deal?
One of them looks like almost your stereotypical grizzled peacekeeper, like very shaved head, got a big scar down one side, and then has, some wrinkles. We wouldn't consider old, but maybe in sort of their military force, they'd say like, oh, he's getting up there. He's like 38 now. The other, his partner looks like a very new recruit, like maybe 19, still a little bit scrawny, hasn't quite like grown into himself yet.
Got it. So they're a buddy cop movie, basically.
Yeah, basically.
Right.
Yeah, the younger one is more nervous. You can tell that too. Like he kind of glances at the tourists a little more.
Okay. I think that Juno doesn't have, I'm like looking at her sheet, she doesn't have any particular like physical advantages in terms of like parkour or any of those. Like she has no like um addition to assault or maneuver. So I think she's gonna stay behind to distract the peacekeepers and keep their attention kind of on her looking towards the school bus. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Um, yeah, and I think I mean, she's made up to look like essentially an undergrad. So I think the way she does it is um, not to create a type, but to sort of start like twirling her hair and be like, wow, have you guys been working by the barrier long? It's really dangerous. That's like really cool. Is it like, do you see weird stuff out here? And just like really try to draw their attention onto talking to her.
Yeah,
Is this
you
red
get.
dust as toxic as everybody says it is?
Do I need to roll influence for that?
Yeah, it sounds like you're doing what we call a setup action. So depending on
Okay.
how this goes, it'll make it easier for everybody else. And yeah,
Yeah.
we decided that it was controlled already.
Okay, yeah, true.
He is actually.
Where's the? Sorry, I don't see the die. Should I just roll a dice, or I feel like you dropped something specifically in there for me to roll?
If you bring up your character.
Again, the character sheet one more time. Okay, cool. So again, that's influence. Is that right?
Yep.
Cool. And then it's okay. Cool. So controlled, submit, standard,
Yes, it is standard.
submit, and then again, I don't need to futz with the bonus dice at all.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Submit. What did I get?
Ooh.
No.
Once.
Dang it.
Oh man. You know, I think what happens is you ask that question about is it dangerous and do weird things happen? And you see a moment and where the recruit like tries to sort of puff himself up, but then sort of glances past you and back to you and he's like, yes, it's very dangerous. It's, oh my gosh, oh, my last shift, I can't even tell you, there was this thing, there were fangs and it was invisible and then it was there and there was so much, and like his training partner basically like grabs him by the shoulder and is like, you don't miss, you're upsetting him, he really needs to his job.
You're upsetting him. That's hilarious. I thought I was gonna say, don't scare the tourists, but
He's like,
they're looking out for each other. Oh, that's kind of sweet.
it's little fangs.
Yikes. Okay, well.
and you can see that the recruit like is like looking back at him being like, but they were there, and he's like, you know what son, why don't you go patrol, calm yourself down, just go do the rounds, I know it's a little early, just. And so you see him start walking towards sort of the canyon dip and starting to do sort of a circular round.
So he's like going right where we need to be, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Bummer. Damn, sorry I rolled some bum dice, guys.
No, it's all good. It's all good. You know, it has the gig isn't up yet.
We're approaching Benny Hill by the minute.
Yep, totally. Yeah, I think Locker is gonna, when he sees the guy going you know, around the canyon, Locker, like I think maybe I heard like like snippets of this. I wasn't right there, you know. We were kind of waiting for you to distract them and then go off, but like clearly the guy walks where we're gonna go. And so Locker follows them like, oh hey, is this where the best pictures are? Oh hey, I heard that like over the canyon is where like crazy things are. Yeah, and Locker tries to like justify going around him, and he's not only trying to like justify himself being there, but also like scare the guy off because he's this nervous recruit. He's like, yeah, this is where the monsters come out, right? This is like, I want to take a picture. And he keeps describing like more and more gruesome things that he's like heard about happening. It's like, oh man, I heard about something with 10 legs and like, you know, it was made out of rocks and that the Kith come out of dimensions and just grab you and snatch you into their dimension. So yes.
That's a bold move. God.
I figure the cover of Annoying Tourist has got to go some ways. So yeah, so I don't know. I think I'm trying to influence him. I'm trying to just like scare the dude and make him want to not be here. Make him want to be like, yeah, my runs are done. I'm going back to the gate. The door.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I think that definitely sounds like an influence. Your goal is to scare him sort of back to his safety near
Exactly.
his security
Right.
bar.
And not act like I'm trying to scare him, but just
Right.
like say so many creepy things that since what we've heard so far about this guy is that he spooks easily.
Uh-huh.
I'm just trying to amplify that
Yeah.
and pretend like the reason why I want to be here is to get pictures of it all.
I like it. Okay, so I think you're gonna have standard effect on him. He does have sort of he does not have a lot of expertise, so he's
right.
intimidating.
Nice. Cool. I'm gonna push myself for an extra die.
All right, it is gonna be risky because you are kind of playing with fire a little bit.
Oh yeah, totally. Playing with fire. Right. No! Oh, my rolls are so good. Good night.
Oh, so
I'm doing so great.
Of course, you always have the ability to resist this.
Yeah.
But what starts happening is I think you've seen this before. He is panicked. It's not just that it worked; like it worked too well, and you can see him like getting really wide-eyed and like looking around. And if you don't try and resist this, he's gonna do something driven from just pure fear at this point.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm a little curious. Like, I'm a little bit just like, let's watch the world burn down. So, like, if he runs off, like, he could totally botch the job. I think Locker has this like moment of like, this looks fun. This looks like it's gonna be hilarious. Oh shit, we're on a job. God damn it. It's cool. I'm sure those extra dimensional things are from the other side, right? And I think I like, let's see. So I'm gonna resist. What am I resisting with? That'll flavor the way I narrate it.
I mean,
because I'm trying to calm down.
Yeah, it sounds like probably ego.
Okay.
What you're doing.
So, yeah, how will I try and keep this guy from doing something ridiculous? Oh, I know. You said he was 19 and kind of scrawny. I am a big dude. I probably got 50, 60 pounds on him, not counting whatever Cyberware adds or subtracts. So when I see him get nervous, I give him this like I like put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, does he have a name badge? Does he have a name badge?
Yeah, his name says Ivers.
I put my hand on his shoulder. I'm like, Ivers, don't worry, man. You got this. You're all good. And I give him this like reassuring, like, you're taking care of us. And let's see how much stress that causes me. It causes me 3 stress. Yay! All right. I'm almost stressed out. Lovely.
I like it.
Awesome.
So I think like when you put a hand on his shoulder, he kind of reaches up and grabs it, but not in a bad way, like kind of like you're anchoring him, and he's like, yeah, I got this. Okay. Okay. You know what? You want a picture together? Like that'd be cool, right? And he's trying to like pull you a little bit back towards the gate because he still wants to be safe, but you know he doesn't.
Right. I still failed the roll, but he isn't freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be great, Ivers. I'd love to take a picture with you. I'm gonna add to my collection. And yeah, I think so I think he corrals me back, and I just I like look at Zephyr in October. I'm like, you're up. I tried. Juno tried, so
Rookie cop. Damn.
Yeah, that was gonna be my question. Is so October and Zephyr, as you're watching all of this play out, what have you two been doing?
I've been silently hoping that it would work.
I mean, it has worked in a very roundabout way.
Yeah, it's worked in a way.
I mean, me and Ivers are pretty tight now.
Yeah, yeah, you
Got a
got a
friend,
friend now.
That's like a thing.
That's a win right there.
That's a win. Yeah.
Does October have anything he can do to get us out of this? Or
I have an idea, but it's very silly. So,
Good.
We've been so serious up until now, Brian.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know how you could possibly introduce a silly idea.
I'd like to call in help from one of my contacts,
Ooh, which one?
Blandis, my dad. And I want to get one of the flashy vehicles at his slightly less impressive behind the barrier version of this. And yeah, I just want to basically have it like kind of pre-programmed to drive from his lot over here and just basically crash into the school bus.
Oh no!
All right. So this will be our first contact roll. So what you're gonna do is roll your bond with Blandis, and based on that, we'll see what happens with this plan.
Hey,
All right, 5. So, unless you resist it, it's gonna work. But I think what it is his car is recognizable. So it's gonna come back to his dealership, and that's gonna hurt your relationship with him.
I feel really bad, but I also don't want to resist it.
I mean, that's just future fun to have.
Exactly.
Yeah, drama with dad. All right, so yeah, you'll decrease your bond from 2 to 1 with him, and it does work. So can you narrate what this car looks like and exactly what happens when it hits the school bus?
Yeah, it looks kind of like a futuristic race car, but like where the main kind of back wheels by the spoiler are like 2 big kind of unicorn like park ride looking things kind of decorating it, and it's bright pink, and it has like unnecessarily one of those like cone like jet turbine parts in the front that doesn't actually function but spins and makes noise to look like it's going faster. And yeah, it kind of just comes from within the barrier, probably off like somewhere in there. Just goes right really fast into the tourist bus and hopefully explodes.
Yeah, your bus out here explodes. And I think in the fire and the remains, however, your dad makes good cars, and the car is still there. It's a little scorched, but we see this sort of souped up unicorn pink race car sort of screeching, and it hits the barrier, and you see like a ripple of energy, but the barrier holds. And I think, Walker, you hear the recruit go, "Ah!" and like he crouches down to the ground for a second, and then the main peacekeeper, the older one, like raises his rifle and runs through and is yelling at everyone to find cover. And I think the tourist leader you see reaches over and touches something on their wrist, and they just vanish. And so there's kind of this pandemonium as the tourists around you process, like explosion, cowering guard, tourist leader has vanished, and then there's the 4 of you. What do you do?
I mean, that's as good a distraction as any.
That's
So Locker's like, do, let's move real quick. and I say we all sneak down the canyon, while they're not
Yeah, I mean, if they're all looking at the exploded car,
I'm like, Lucker has no idea that Lucker has no idea this is what you did. So Lucker's like, well, that was convenient. We're just super lucky, aren't we?
I guess so. This is a roundabout way of getting down that canyon, I guess. Cool. Benny Hill it is.
That's great.
All right, so we see you all kind of slide down the slope into the cavern, and you're definitely in what looks like an old riverbed. As you look around, the red dirt is very cracked, and you can see some gnarled plants that once grew there but died a long time ago and look a little worn like driftwood. And as far as you know, it's just a straight shot down this canyon to the drop site.
Cool. Yeah, you could
All
just
right. As far as we know, right?
as far as we know,
As
yes.
far as we know, hey.
All right. Question, October, do you tell them that you had anything to do with that?
Nah. They don't need to.
All right. So I think we get that scene of you all just kind of in your touristy gear walking down the canyon path. And you reach basically where the coordinates are on your record, October. You know now that you just need to find basically a cavern that's up partway the side of the mountain, and that's where the box is supposed to be. And I think in that moment, maybe as you pause to sort of reorient to where you need to go, I think Zephyr, you get that feeling of the source being more present, like just that feeling of like someone or something is watching you, and you know it well, as almost as if you've caught the source's attention.
Intuit skill says I can seek the source for insights. Could I try to tap into that to gain some information about the surroundings?
Yeah. So what you just need to do is it's based on basically sympathetic magic. So anything that you would associate being connected with the source or the source's attention, you can kind of tap into that and then see what you find.
Cool. So can I roll first? Whiskey standard, I guess?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Wow, no 6.
You should just roll everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what question do you have for the source?
I kind of want to see if I can get a lead on the party that's dropping off this package. So, is the source like all living things, or
Yes.
so could I like see or get sensory inputs from like a bird or something like that, and try to like see down at this drop zone?
I think what you get is this feeling of immense satisfaction, and there's a little disorientation, and maybe you've done this before, like kind of looking at animal perspectives. So you know that whatever you're looking through, it isn't bird vision, but it definitely is like sharp predator vision, and it's looking down at what look like corpses. Like they're people who are not moving, and sitting sort of next to them is a large lockbox.
Okay. It's a twist. Benny Hill's getting dark. So I'm gonna.
Yakety Sax is playing in a minor key now.
I'm gonna take a stop in my tracks maybe when I get that vision, and I'll say to the group, I'll say I think there's trouble ahead. the source let me know that the people that dropped off that package are all dead.
Whoa.
Oh.
That's not good.
Fist bump source. Let us know what's going on here.
Should be careful, at least. I think I like maybe just kind of glance at the big compartment in lockers, like where he keeps the huge weaponry, and like backing him. Just
Yeah. Yeah, so Locker's like, sure. Yeah. You think like dead, like
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 very dead. Then.
like attacked by creatures?
Did I get a sense of what it did it or no?
I think with a 6 you would. I think that what probably stood out is it looked like they had been their clothes had been shredded, probably by claws or something like that.
Okay. I'll nod and I'll say like a big creature. Like the kind the guy was afraid of over there. Point back to the gate.
Oh, like the kind that I thought I was just making up, but it's actually real. Oh, that's scary. Yeah, so yeah, so sure. And Locker starts like taking apart cameras and pulling out parts of weapons and things like that that are hiding and all this stuff. And yeah, so what do you think we should? You think we should back off? You think we should not go?
I'll shake my head. I'll say I could run up ahead and check it out, and things get bad. I'll come back. Maybe it's gone. Maybe it left.
Yeah, that seems likely. I mean, we got so lucky with that car randomly crashing into this bus. Maybe it's still a lucky day.
Yeah, I think Juno asked, like, Zephyr, is this vision that you had, is it something that happened recently?
The vision or the event?
The event. Like, can you tell when this happened?
There was like a vision of the present that I just saw.
Oh.
Yeah, right. So I think this happened just now.
Because I think you were looking through the eyes of something, so you were seeing sort of the present moment. All right, so Zephyr, are you gonna go up on your own to sort of scope it out?
Yeah, I think it's steps gonna do. So I'll run up ahead and try to get a look sees before this thing eats all of us. Yeah.
All right. So is your main goal to like run up safely and stealthily, or are you trying to just mostly your main goal is to find whatever this creature is? What's the main thing you want to accomplish?
That's a good question. I think if I just run up, this thing might attack me, so I'll try to sneak. Okay, and I can push myself for an extra dice, right?
Yes. The other thing, just to let people also know, is remember that if you go against the team ideal or your rebellion, you can get a sellout point that you can use for an extra die in the future. I don't think that's been activated for anyone, but if you look at your personal code or your rebellion and that did happen, feel free to always just claim that die.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Thanks for the reminder.
Yeah, so I'll definitely push myself for an extra die. So, yeah.
All right. So I think it'll be risky, but you'll have standard effect.
Cool. Uh-oh.
That had to happen.
Yeah, luck had to run out.
So a 3 and a 2 on your stealth roll. Keep in mind you can resist that if you want. I think as you're thinking about if you want to resist, you're walking up, and I think what it is as you're trying to keep an eye out, maybe you aren't paying attention to the fact that the source is keeping an eye on you,
Mm.
and the source is going to draw attention to your location.
Okay. I'll resist it because that sounds pretty bad. So where's the resist button on this?
Let me.
Oh, if you click on the attribute like ego, or
Oh,
then it'll roll a resist.
Mhm.
so this would be meat bod, right?
I think you could probably resist with ego or meatbod, because ego would be trying to like hide from the source. Meatbod would be more trying to hide from it physically, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I like my ego. That sounds cool. Hmm. So is that a 0 or is that a 1?
Oh, it didn't. The result didn't pop for me. Oh, there
Oh.
you go.
Mm.
0.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you take no stress.
Yeah.
Because you're all about them sixes.
Dude, you've been rolling. Your rolls have been killer tonight.
You know, Roll20's being nice to me.
We really should have Craig like put on different like disguises and roll for all of
Yes. Can Craig roll for the rest of
them.
So I think what happens is you can feel that the source is reaching out, and as you're trying to sort of like hide from its energy, you get the sense that as it's searching for you, it's trying to connect you with some creature that's inside the cavern. But the source can't find you. Imagine like magical, hands feeling around, but they miss where you're located and crouch down.
Okay.
So at this point, I think you're probably at the edge of the cavern. You haven't been able to see the creature, but you've been able to get up that far, and you're sort of looking into the darkness where you think the drop box should be.
Mm-hmm. Could I try to see if there's any tracks?
Yeah, I think you would just see it in this kind of terrain. They look like cat paws, and they are very deep.
Okay. It's not good. I think I'll head back to the group at that point. And I'll just relay all that information. Big kitty cat. Very friendly.
October's. Oh, sorry, Joan.
Oh no. Go ahead, by all means.
Oh, October's just very excited at the prospect of a giant kitty.
Like, I think like I get the sense that it's like giant kitty that's like "Meow," like "Meow, meow," not like so.
I mean, that's all cats. They're both.
I mean, but these are like "Meow," and then faces come off, right? That's the
You can get a new face.
hey, maybe we I mean that's true. That's true. I mean, cybernetically speaking, that's true. But like it's expensive. That look like with a new face.
It would be highly, I think Juno says very deadpan, it would be highly inconvenient if anyone needed a new face at the end of this drop.
Wow, we have such
Get this done
beautiful
as
faces. Look at this.
possible.
Look, you know how long I've been working on getting this beard just perfect, just exactly right. Just yeah. Let's so Craig, you figured out that there was the kitty, and it's currently watching us right now. Sorry,
I think the source tried to connect me to something in the canyon, right? So the kitty's in the canyon is what I'm
yeah,
kind of intuiting.
In the cavern.
in the
Cavern.
cavern.
Yeah, so it's close.
And that's where the drop is as well, right? That's where we've got to go. Okay, well, think about it this way: we know it's there, so it won't get to jump on us like it did those fools.
Very true.
And maybe like, oh, what do you think? What do you think source kitties like to eat? maybe we could bring in a tasty snack. Wait, we're out in the middle of the desert. We got nothing on us. I got chewing gum. Juicy fruit. No,
Question
not feeling it.
for a Locker.
Yeah.
Would Locker be the type, if we flash back, to be like, I'm gonna bring monsters snacks?
I think we're going out into the middle of nowhere. And there is like, this is like a known thing that there's weird ass stuff outside the barrier, right?
Yeah.
Like, or at least it's not a known thing, it's a suspected thing. And Benali is saying, no, it's fine out there. But the general common knowledge is there's crazy weird things out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say yes, that makes total sense. So, yeah, should I mark that as load or should I do that, handle that as a flashback?
I think we can do a flashback. And I'm willing to say if Locker brought juicy fruit for the tourists, that I don't think you need to spend stress bringing snacks for the monster.
Okay.
But maybe we can do a roll to see how good of snacks they are.
Right, that makes sense. Right. What would I be rolling? Maneuvering into it and will perform.
As a backup, also, I just want to throw out there, and this is very cold, but I want to throw out there that there are 2 peacekeeping guards whose job it is to monitor these things. So I don't know what maneuvers we'd have to pull to like lure them away and use them as a snack, but that is possibly an option.
I'll tell you right now that Ivers is not going within 10 feet of that. There's just no way in
That
him
is true.
he would
That
go.
is true.
You're like, not my buddy Ivers. No, man, we go back. We go back like 15 minutes.
Yeah, that is true. Very
So it seems like figuring out what kind of snack, I'm not good at any of these things, but it seems like it might be analyze or intuit, or I'm not really sure.
It would probably depend on how you decided to get that information, right? So if you're like, okay, monster snacks, what do they eat? How would Locker have gone about figuring out what they eat?
I think it would be like as we're planning later on, Locker would like show back up to Benali and be like, okay, look, I know you say it's safe out there, but I've heard crazy things. So if we're gonna go out in outside the barrier, like where do barrier critters want to snack on so they're not snacking on me, because I like me and I don't want them to snack on. So I think I would be asking Benali, since she already knows about the space out there, or at least she says she does.
That sounds like a mingle then, because you're kind of trying to use your relationship.
Cool. Awesome. Hey, I'm okay at that. Can I bring someone else with me to give me a hand on this one? Someone willing to spend a stress to give me a bonus die?
Yeah, I'll spend a stress. Sure.
Awesome. 2 of us are chatting with. What's the position on this?
I think it would be controlled because she's, you have a positive relationship with her.
Cool.
And I like this idea too, that she's probably standing there holding like a data pad with very important information and like just looking up at you as you're asking her this.
Yeah, right. I'm like, because I don't think they want chewing gum. That's my suspicion. All right. So with some help, I'm so good at this game.
1 and a 2.
Yeah.
So she looks at you and you see her like lift one eyebrow and she says, oh no, they love gum, but they want bubble gum. Just big ball of bubble gum. Locker, you give them that.
You got it. All right. I'll pack extra. I'll bring so much. I have enough for everybody I encounter. That's how much gum I'll bring. That's why I'll bring all this gum.
Cool.
So we flash back to the present day.
And Locker is just been chewing bigger and bigger amounts of gum. You stick another stick in, chew it, stick another stick in. Right now, he's got about 7 sticks of gum in his mouth right now. He's like, okay, I think I got it.
Like, what are you doing?
This is what Benali said. She said they like chewing gum. So why do you think I brought all this chewing gum? Like I'm some kind of noob tourist. Like I didn't figure this out. This is all part of the master plan. And he's got this big old ball of gum in his hand. I'm like, this is what we're gonna throw at it. You don't want to eat that instead.
I don't trust this vision of Denali's. I do not trust this to success. Is I
You
think
don't think she would steer us wrong, do you? I mean, she wants us to succeed.
she does. Yes. Was this part of the dossier or any part of what we need right now? I'm just asking.
I'm just. This is what she told me. I mean, why else would I bring this much gum? This much gum. Yeah.
I can't fault the logic in this.
Yeah. Right. See.
Yes. Technically, there's nothing technically wrong with anything you're saying. But in the meantime, is it okay if I ask Zephyr if there's anything we can do to prevent an attack?
And I'm kind of like creeping near the canyon, like, yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. I'm not going in. I'm just sort of like while you're talking. Want to taste the treat?
Yeah, I want to know if Zephyr can actually patch back into the source in any way, just to see like how much danger we're actually in, because it's hard to tell when we're going to be able to pick up to intercept what we need to intercept and bring it back. We could be out here a long time.
So dipping back in the source, is that a dangerous thing to do at this point?
No, yeah, because I think the source was looking for you to connect you to whatever's in the cavern. So I think it'd probably be desperate at this point.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah, maybe that's not the best idea then. Should we just leave it to chance?
We could wait for the other group to get here, but try to people picking up the box, and then try to wait till the big kitty bothers them instead.
Yeah.
But that
I'm
might
a
be
fan
too
of
late.
using the actual Taurus as baits. I'm actually fine with that.
That works too, I guess.
Yeah.
They'd like tasty tourists. So is the idea that the tourists are going to eventually come down this way anyway, like as part of their looking around?
Yeah, I wonder, like, I mean, how much of like and I'm asking Cass, he was the GM, like how much of a ritual is it as a tourist to like kind of get a photo like right outside the barrier wall and then to go back? Because it sounded like that was like maybe a thing.
I think if there hadn't been like a unicorn car explosion that put everyone on edge,
Yeah.
maybe I think you'd probably have to go. It might not be hard to persuade a tourist to come with you, but you'd probably have to go back and get them.
Yeah.
Come on, live on the edge. We got this. Everything has been going our way so far. We've had no problems. Luck's on our side.
Weirdly,
Yeah.
luck is on our side, just in a
Kill it.
really roundabout way.
So October, you've been listening to this. As you're listening, are you more team tourist trap or team bubblegum ball?
I mean, how many of these tourists are off-worlders? 'Cause
Almost
if-
all of them.
Oh, then Team Tourist Trap. Fuck those people.
Wow. This is getting dark very quickly.
It's getting super dark. Yeah. We're peaceful couriers. We don't like to get in the fight. We're trying to like keep it chill.
Oh, it's really
Crashing cars, throwing tourists into kitties.
Yeah. Jesus
I mean,
Christ.
tourists did lose their guide, right? So if someone wants to guide them here.
All right.
All right.
Who wants to go back and or which people want to go back and try and lure a tourist out?
Fucking, that sounds like something Juno could maybe do. She
Mhm.
also seems to have the least moral qualms about possibly feeding an off-worlder.
Yeah. Locker isn't like yeah, I'm not sure where he stands on that. It's okay, I don't have to find out because you're gonna go do it. He's
Yeah.
like creeping up by the cave and he's like, hey kitty, kitty, how you doing? And he's
Are
trying
you-
to like
Are you talking to it?
yeah, totally. He's trying to see
Okay.
if it's gonna like I'm imagining this thing where he's hearing like a grumble or a growl. Like he's still outside. He's not going in, but he's just like, "Hey, how we doing?" Trying to see if the cat like if the kitty is like possibly friendly, possibly wants to talk. I don't know.
You're that dude at the zoo who sticks your whole arm through the bars.
Well, what Locker is literally thinking right now is if something comes flying out of this thing, he is literally gonna jump jet the hell away and like run into the tourists himself, right? Like he's gonna run. He is very ready to haul his ass right back to the peacekeepers. So yes, but also
You got a
with-
contingency plan.
I got a plan.
Yeah, you got a plan. Cool, great. Right.
So I rolled a fortune die
Yeah.
for the kitty.
I saw.
Yeah,
And,
that means it goes great for us, right? Because you rolled bad, right?
Right. Well, it was the kitty's guardian instinct.
Yeah.
So what you see is this enormous sort of panther-like cat, except for his like a dappled coat that sort of shimmers in and out of visibility, just walks out and chomps down on the bubble gum you're holding, and sort of stares at you the way cats do, like you're gonna let go, right?
Jesus Christ. It's actually true.
Worked.
If you just keep doing the wrong thing long enough, eventually it becomes the right thing. Even the stop clock is right twice a day. So Locker's terrified. This thing's huge, right? It's
Yeah.
Locker's terrified. And he's just like, nice kitty. And eventually like unclenches his cyber hand, letting it take it. I think that's a great time to like cut to Juno trying to lure someone here.
And to be clear, am I trying to lure one of the tourists or am I trying to lure a peacekeeper? I couldn't quite remember what the plan was.
I think that's up to you.
Yeah, I was thinking tourists. I think tourists would be easier, but
Okay. Cass, can you describe the scene that we see when we get back to the unicorn cards?
I think what you see is the recruit is somewhat in control of himself, and by that I mean he's standing clutching his rifle to his chest and sort of looking around. The older officer is sort of has circled the car. I think maybe we see some of this like before you arrive, and like poked it a little bit and checked it, and decided that the car is safe, but they are not. And so when you come up, he's trying to convince the other tourists to help him prop the car up, kind of as like a barricade, so that they can have some cover until help can arrive. So, and these tourists they have people to work for them. They don't usually work. So you can see him like explaining very slowly, as if he's said it many, many times, of like, no, you need to grab there. We all just need to do this. We need to create a wall. No, just, it's only a moment, really just like one lift. And you can see that the tourists, they're sort of divided between arguing with him and taking pictures of the blown up bus.
Who looks the most gullible there?
I mean, I think you probably see gullible is an interesting question.
Or just like who's sort of like who's the weak, sick gazelle in this mingling herd that I can latch on to?
I mean, I think Ivers is probably still the
No.
he's very isolated and like hugging his rifle.
Man.
I think the others would be that maybe there are like some preteens who are sort of two of them standing apart and like complaining loudly.
Oh my god. I feel like I should take a stress die for my actual life because I feel bad for a cop and that goes against my values and ideals. But fucking here we go. I think I'm going to sidle up to Ivers, who's like on the edge of the herd or whatever, and kind of act as though like I may be slightly injured and try to convince him that someone like tried to sneak away in the chaos to take a photo and might be hurt. And so I come up to him and I say,
definitely someone you could imagine doing that.
Oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I know you're really busy. I'm so sorry. I really need your help. It's someone's like over here, and I guess I am rolling for influence again. I'm like nervous about this roll. I haven't had great luck with these rolls, but let's see what happens.
I think when you're
Risky?
talking, he's also looking at you and he starts nodding and looking around and he's like, "Where's the big guy? Where's the nice big guy? Where did he go?"
Oh, I think I'm gonna say it's him. It's him. I think he's hurt. 'Cause
Oh,
his friend
oh,
wants to help him.
yeah.
Is that controlled or risky?
I think it's gonna be controlled because it's his friend who also would
Yeah.
make him feel safer.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, submit standard effect.
You're
Okay.
gonna get my buddy Ivers killed, aren't you?
I might. 6.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You're so gonna get Ivers killed.
He's
I
gonna
think-
get eaten.
I mean,
Which is just.
once the kitty cat.
I think what happens is it's that effect of seeing someone else who at least outwardly appears more scared than him. So he feels kind of like he has to be like the strong and control one, and it's his friend. And, he's like, yeah, okay. Deep breaths. And he like, you hear him narrating like calming down techniques to himself. He's like, okay, deep in. Okay, slowly out. Okay, check. Safety on. Wait, no, safety off. Dangerous situation. Safety off. Okay, tuck into the shoulder. And he sort of looks at you and starts nodding, like, okay, yep, take me to him. We got this. We'll get him
Yeah,
safe.
thank you so much. Thank you. And I start fucking leading him to his death, I guess. Jesus fucking Christ.
So I think when you come up, Locker let go of the gum eventually, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Then I
Yeah.
think, Juno, what you see is at this point, the cat has kind of hopped back and it spits out the gum. And right as you're coming up, it's batting it back towards Locker.
I think at this point, like, even though I've been like, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I'm so glad. There's like a moment where she looks at what's in front of her and just says, motherfucker, was Benali right? It's just like a moment of just dead silence.
I need to roll something real quick.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no.
No.
Uh-oh.
What happens is you say that, and then the camera moves past you to the recruit, Ivers,
Uh-huh.
and his eyes go wide, and he says, Ghost Panther. And then he pulls up his rifle, but he sort of forgets what he's doing and makes it more of a club and charges towards the cat.
No.
Oh no.
Well, listen, nature is brutal, and sometimes,
Yeah.
everyone's got to eat. Everyone's got to eat. So, what happens when he charges toward the panther?
The other three of you are closer, so you have 1 second to react, or you can sort of let it play out.
I mean, I'm letting it play out. Out there.
I want to see what Locker does first because this is bloody.
This is your buddy.
Yeah, exactly. This is Ivers, my buddy. So he's charging it with his rifle. And it's probably going to decimate him, which would be so sad. So yeah, I think Locker is like, oh no, you should. Oh, never mind. He's dead. Like I think
I think we're just gonna let this fucking rookie cop get eaten by this goddamn panther.
I feel he's gonna feel real bad in his heart when he does it.
We're all gonna feel bad. It's gonna fucking happen, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yes,
Sorry,
yeah. I think he just sort of lets this happen.
Well,
Let's go get the box.
cool. Yeah, let's grab the box.
So I think then we see him running, like lifting the rifle, and the cat freezes, and for the instant it freezes, it goes completely invisible. and he like slows down and stumbles a little bit and then seems to remember that he has a rifle and like pulls it up and starts spraying the ground, and you hear just like a scream and then a flash as the cat moves and jumps on top of him. If you guys want to go for the box, they are both distracted.
Yeah, I think we should go for the box. I think that this is the time. Absolutely.
Yep. So while Locker is mercenary enough not to get in the way of this distraction, I mean, he clearly values. It makes a lot of sense to have this guy going after it. He also doesn't necessarily want to see him eaten. I don't know. I'm not sure where he stands on this. So I think we figured out it needs two people to carry the box.
Mhm.
So I think I'm gonna try and protect the guy from getting killed by this thing.
Oh, that's very nice.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try. We'll see if that if he can at least keep the guy alive, even if it is an ugly thing. So I'm like, Ivers, you got, watch out, and he's trying to watch out for the guy.
Yeah.
We're trying to protect the guy. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm imagining this scene where he's like got the rifle trained, the Panther's like charging at him, and they're about to run into it, and I'm just literally gonna like crash into him and just like start smash him out of the way and go rolling down the canyon with Ivers. So and out, far enough away that the Panther comes chasing after us, but he's not getting his face bitten off.
Okay. So what I kind of see in this is at least two of the others of you are gonna try and grab the box while this is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I am gonna try. Well, I wonder if October and Zephyr should go for the box. Are you all faster?
Zephyr's pretty quick, so you could probably
Yeah, definitely Zephyr. How are you,
Totally.
October?
Yeah, I'll get the box because
Yeah. Great.
Them.
The two of you.
So I think we'll almost have like this simultaneous role of it sounds like Locker is kind of doing a tricky maneuver with that tackle.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maneuver covers physical body movements, right? Right. He doesn't want to hurt him at all. He's just trying to leap into him. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the two of you, it sounds like would be kind of a teamwork maneuver to get the box out and away.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the two at the box, you guys have like a controlled standard because you have this lovely distraction. Locker, yours is going to be.
Tell me it's desperate. I know it's gonna be desperate.
It's gonna be desperate.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. It'll still be standard because you have all your, cyber limbs and extra oomph. But yeah, it's desperate.
Right. And I've got like no stress to spend, so that's awesome.
Cool.
This will be fun. I've been rolling on fire tonight. I'm sure this will be great. Let's do it. Maneuver. There. None of my cyber limbs give me a bonus. I didn't pick the ability that gives me a bonus. The jump jets I don't think don't do anything mechanically. Let me check real quick. Try to see if I can monger a die, but I don't think I can. Cyber soul discipline. Jump jets. Yeah. Just give. Okay. Here we go. 2 dice. I'm sure I'll get a 6.
I'm sure it'll be fine.
I'm sure this thing won't bite off my face. Desperate. Standard. Go.
Oh! 1, 3.
Oh no.
God, I have not rolled higher than a 3 all night long. Hey, I get to mark XP. Only desperate action.
Yay. So good. At
I
least you get the XP.
Locker, what happens is one of you in this role gets grabbed by the cat.
Yeah.
Is it you or Ivers?
Come on. Wait, no, it's the cop. Come on. Sorry, this isn't my role. I don't know why I'm like spectator sporting this, but like, okay.
Yeah, I think Locker is like, Ivers, I got you. And he like goes, and then I think at the last minute he just flinches like, oh no, I don't got you. I'm sorry. And he feels real bad as he like halts the last moment and just lets Kitty eat face because he doesn't want it to be his face because his face is so beautiful. His beard took so long to grow out. So yeah, if you give the choice to Locker, he falters at the last moment. He's like, "Whoa, that's a bad plan."
Yeah, I think that what we see is the kitty like pounces again on him, and the two of them roll off the canyon and disappear, with kind of the sounds of their struggle like echoing back up.
Oh well.
Like watching a penguin get eaten on a nature special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's got to happen. It doesn't feel good. But look, the ghost panther's right here.
It has arrived.
Get the cop.
Oh. So I think really we just have you guys carrying the box back. There's no witness now to see you
Nope.
take it back. I think the training officer is still arguing with the tourists to try and like get the barrier or get a car up as like a barricade.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I don't think he's even maybe noticed that Ivers is gone.
no.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, Ivers didn't like radio or anything. He wasn't like, I see a cat, I'm going in. He just charged.
Nope. He just
Nope.
went for his friend without thinking.
Oh, but I wasn't really his friend.
No.
All right, so I think for time-wise, maybe the last shot is you all trudging sort of back up to the chaos with this duffel bag, or not duffel bag, sorry, lockbox, and maybe just the four of you sitting on it as you wait for the peacekeepers to arrive to sort of return order to everything.
Cool. Well, what a smoothly run, no hitch mission, guys.
We did it.
Perfect
Exactly.
way.
This is how missions are supposed to go, right?
Textbook. Right here.
Yeah. So we won't do payout for the mission because we only have a couple of minutes.
Sure.
But if you guys want to look at your XP triggers real quick, we could do character XP.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds good.
We'll go in reverse order. So we'll start with October and then Zephyr, then Locker, then Juno.
Great.
So October, if you could read your XP triggers and then any that you think you got points for.
Yeah, I addressed a challenge with disruption and innovation, or attempted to weaponize information. I definitely think I disrupted something.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep. And then the general ones are expressed your code, rebellion, or heritage.
Yeah, I don't think I did too much of that.
And then struggled with your jaded instinct, which for you is distrust.
No. I think if we had fed a tourist, I might have, but we fed the cop, and the cop is not off-world, so they're not specifically who October doesn't like.
All right. Zephyr, what are your XP triggers?
I've adjusted challenge with athletic skill or daredevilry, and then attempted to learn from the source.
Ooh. Yeah, I feel like you did a lot of athletic skill.
So yeah, one or two, right?
Yeah, if you did it more than once, then you can get up to 2 for it.
Cool. Write that down. I don't think I hit the code or the jaded instinct, which I don't have yet. So
It's true, you're an unjaded individual.
so far.
So far.
And Locker, how about you?
Let's see. Mine is. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to pull it up on chat so we can see. All right. Mine are adjusted challenge was honesty and rampage. I tried to be honest. I wasn't very good at it. I don't think so. Attempted to push my limits. Yes, I did. I did really try to. I did really try to save Ivers there. Attempt is the real important part.
Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I found I butted right up to my limits. I'm like, oh nope, I'm not that good. You expressed your code, rebellion, or heritage. My code, my rebellion is consumption, siphoning resources, third parties. If I see corporate brands, I will always destroy them. Yes, I was totally trying to mess with all sorts of branding stuff as I was blocking security camera stuff. I failed at it horribly, but that's like that whole thing of like graffitiing and messing with brand logos and whatnot is a big part of Locker's subversion.
Yeah, definitely.
That's his particular flavor of it. And you struggle with your jaded instincts or attention attitude during the session. I brought up my jaded instinct of censoring people, of telling them that they're wrong and that they're doing it wrong. Like very mildly in the beginning when I was talking about like telling the peacekeeper that he was screwing up at the beginning of the protest, but it wasn't a struggle. It was a little color scene, but it doesn't actually cause like any struggle in the game. So I
Okay.
won't take XP for that.
And then Juno, what are your XP triggers?
I mean, all right, I didn't roll desperate. But I did, I would say, address a challenge with charm and intimidation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you did that a couple times.
Like twice, yeah, with the ticket
Yeah.
vendor and then with the two peacekeepers. Attempted to gain another support. I think I also did that
Yeah.
with the ticket vendor and with Ivers.
So when you for each one of those, click on one of those little green those little boxes above to fill out the mark XP.
Oh, I see. Okay, so 1, 2. So is it 1 per like individual attempt / person, or is it just per encounter? I guess either way, that's 4.
Yeah, so it would be 1 if it happened once, and then for each
Right.
XP trigger, you can get a max at 2. So yeah, I
Yeah.
think 4 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Express code, rebellion, or heritage. I mean, my rebellion trigger is apathy. I'm not sure. I feel like it's sort of a stretch to apply that one.
Mhm.
But struggled with jaded instincts or attitude, I for sure exploited Ivers. Like
Yeah, you did.
100%. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna mark it for that. Do I mark jaded up 1 as well, or no?
No, that
No.
will be when you get a new jaded quality.
Got it.
Yeah.
So that's 5.
Nice.
All right. Let me really quickly, if I can, really quickly. So team. If you aided your neighborhood, pursued an agent's side job, or furthered the team's ambition. So if you were embracing anarchy and going against authority. And would you guys say you kind
I
of
would
lived out
think.
anarchy?
I feel like in the truest PC sense of, crash the car to do the smallest things, like yes, we literally crashed a car. we caused a peacekeeper to die. We kind of wrecked things.
Seems like a high anarchy situation that we created.
Yes, exactly.
I think 2 would make sense for this
Yeah.
anarchy.
Seems accurate.
Did you bolster your team's reputation of being tenacious or gain a new one?
So we haven't done like the payout part of this yet, but it strikes me as the whole reason why we got this job was, well, 2 reasons. One is because we're not officially affiliated with the faction, so with Loftus, so like we could go kind of under the radar, but also I'm assuming it seemed like this is a pretty important package, and they were sending us out into the danger zone, the literal not safe place. So bolstering tenacious makes sense to me. I think that is fitting with, like, we didn't back out just because it was a tough job.
Yeah.
We sure did not.
I like it. And there were many low rolls, and yet you persisted.
And yet
Yes.
we
Yes.
persisted.
And then I forgot to have you guys set a team goal for this session. Sometimes it's easier when you have played a little bit. So in the future, normally I'd say, what's your team's short-term goal? And we would sort of see if you guys work towards that.
Cool.
All right. So that is congratulations. And your team still needs a name. So if you guys or if chat wants to assign you something after the wildly successful mission.
Yeah, right.
You know, the weird thing is it was actually quite successful. I just don't feel great about it.
No.
But we definitely got the lockbox.
We got the lockbox, and we didn't really get our names associated with too much stuff. Although October's uncle was it?
The dealership.
Yeah. So
their dad.
Yeah. Oh, your dad. Yeah. So that could come back on us, but like overall, yeah, I feel like we came out of this pretty clean.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All right.
Awesome.
Wow.
Well, let me switch us over to the other page. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us while we went on madcap adventures. And thanks, Cass, for running this game for us. There's a lot of moving pieces in this game, so I very much appreciate you helping us through all of them and letting us know all the stuff to do, because it's between the setting and the rules, you've built a big infrastructure here. I'm very impressed. So thank you for running.
Yeah, no, the play felt really streamlined. Thank you, Cass. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
All right, so let's say our outs. Brian, you wanna kick us off?
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching. A lot of fun. Looking forward to next session. Yay.
Cool. How about you, Craig?
Yeah, thanks so much. It was really fun. It was definitely a roller coaster, you know. Started getting zany, and then it got really dark, and then it all worked out. So
Sure
yeah,
did.
that's much more than that. It was great. It was fun for sure.
Gian?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun this session. I was expecting something a lot more like kind of grim and dark in tone, and it sure got dark, just not in the way I was expecting. But you know, at least his body, you know, at least Ivor's body is going back to the land. That's definitely a personal value of mine.
Yeah, right.
How about you, Sean?
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. I'm sure after the game we'll schedule another game, or we'll try to if our schedules align. They don't often. But yeah, this is good times. I feel very conflicted about this game. Locker feels very conflicted about this game. Like, I intentionally did not make him as an exceptionally moral character, and yet I still felt bad. So what do you know? How about you, Cass?
Yeah, thank you everybody for playing. That was super fun. I was thinking back on GM Prep because I was rewatching it. My question was, what does Locker want to protect, and how do I put that in danger? So Sean kind of just walked right into that. So that was nice.
Nice. I didn't know that was the question, but you definitely did put the thing Locker decided impromptu he wanted to protect in danger, and he did.
Wow. All right.
Nice.
And then I think the one shout out I'll do is Glitter Cats Amusement made a game called Laser Kittens, and they are currently running a Kickstarter for the sort of expansion, and they've hired a bunch of really diverse designers. I'm one of the stretch goals, but even if we don't get there, I think it's a really cool game. And if you need something happy and fun to play after you've played Crossing Worlds,
oh my God, Bartleby.
Be kittens. Bartleby has good timing, so if you want to role play
Bartleby, what are you doing, man?
All right. I guess Panther
and
NPC.
Okay I drop the link in, Sean?
Yeah. I just, if you have it, go for it. Otherwise, I'm pulling it up right now.
I think I got it. Yeah.
Cool. There we go. More kittens.
More kittens.
That looks very fun.
That does look fun.
Cool beans. All right. Well, thanks all. We will see you in the next time. Oh, the next time we'll see folks is tomorrow morning for
bright and early. Yeah.
I'm not in it. It's first time. There will be an actual play podcast an actual play stream
Wow.
that I am neither producing nor in, so I can just watch. Tons of fun.
Wow.
Right.
Hey,
Yeah,
hey.
remarkable.
What luxury.
I know. It just took a
Right,
year
well-
to get there.
Yeah, right. I will be playing in it, so I'm looking forward to seeing everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good night, all.